right? And then there was this tug of war for a long time. Yes, it is.
Because you're getting upset.
No, I'm reliving it in my mind. We got some foundational stuff in our relationship, which allows.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. Want to talk to you guys, this will be a quicker video than most of them, about Shamari and Ronnie. And the reason why I want to talk to you about this situation is because there's an important thing to learn here. It doesn't seem like much, but what Shamari did, don't do that again. Ladies, please, I'm begging you, don't do it. I've spoken about this before. When we're sharing our heart and we're being emotional, we don't need you to expose the fact we're being emotional in that moment. That ruins the vulnerability. I don't need you to do that. Now, of course, Ronnie and Shamari, they've been together for 15 years. They'll probably know themselves better than we know each other. This is more of a lesson to everybody else. A lot of us don't deal with it that way. I actually think Shamari and Ronnie, I think Ronnie's more emotionally intelligent. And intelligent doesn't mean that she's dumb. Again, I think she's more emotionally, I think he's more emotionally aware and intelligent, just by the way that he articulates himself and talks in between the two of them. And more emotionally sensitive as well. But in this scene here, when she does that, oh, your lip is quivering. What the frick are you doing? We don't do that. We don't do that. That is, at that moment, what you think you're doing is you're trying to connect with us. No, what you're doing is destroying the vulnerability I'm showing you by making it a cute thing. It's not cute. I'm trying to show you what's on my heart. Don't do that. All right, let's talk a little bit about it. If you're new to the channel, do me a massive favor, like it, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked and stay loaded as well. We're going to get into the show, but before we do, we always got to drop the intro, baby.
Little Black Book, you know what time it is.
Ow! Let's get into the video. Let's just rewind this slightly because I think this is really important.
No, I'm reliving it in my mind. We got some foundational stuff in our relationship, which allows us to be in a better place right now. But like this, these are wounds.
Yeah.
Now, he is sharing a piece of his heart, not only with her, but the group. And he's being vulnerable in that moment and just showing some realness as well. And I appreciate the fact that he's showing that realness because it's good to see that aspect. Now, what was unfortunate is that in that moment, she wanted to drop her, oh, it's cute. Like that. It's not cute, babe. Like, give us room to emote without you having to label it with something. We don't, as men, that's like not needed for us. Right. And what it can do is it can close me off the next time for wanting to share emotionally. I don't need you to say it's cute. Just hear me out. I'm not a little kid. Right. So you're hearing me and you're listening to me and you're listening to me emote. You know, what you could have done if you wanted to do something, and it's not for every guy either. What you could have done was reached across the table, just like, you know, touch his hand a little bit, just let him know that, you know, you're supporting him. Right. But your lip is quivering. What the fuck? What are we doing? Why? What are we doing? I almost swear that. I'm sorry. Apologies, guys. I shouldn't have swore there. I'm just like, it's like wild. It's like, but why are we doing that? You know what I mean? Like, what the frick? I was meant to say what the frick, and I said what the F. I do apologize, guys, again once more. Yeah, what the frick? Why do that in that moment? And again, what it does, again, it almost makes you impervious to sharing your heart too now in this moment. Like if you listen to it, what happens after this watch?
You know, are easily to be open. I do trust my wife. We've worked through a lot of obstacles, but there's something in the back of my head that has me.
Now, of course, he's saying there's something in the back of his mind that's going on. I think also the fact that even later on, a little bit later on, I'll get a clip for you guys as well, where I think, you know, I spoke about this the other day in another video. If you watch my videos, you will know. We spoke about this on not Love Match. We spoke of this on Love and Marriage DC, and we spoke about the fact that in that particular couple conversation with Arena and James, there was this awkward moment because they hadn't really discussed some of the painful issues. In this, you could tell by the way he was talking about it. Of course, he still feels the reminiscence of emotions that come from that situation, but there was far more seemingly sturdiness in him talking about the situation. Maybe because he didn't cheat, but it was far more sturdy in the way that he was talking about the scenario. So it seemed as if they had gone through a lot already with that conversation. It didn't feel like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't share this information, right?
Cautious. I know Mike and Ryder have this thing in place, but at some point, somebody's catching some feelings. So I would say, okay, if you want to open Pandora's.
Now, this is where he starts talking about, obviously, Michael and Rada's relationship, and the fact that, you know, in his relationship, his wife caught feelings for the girl. And he admitted there were things that were missing in our relationship as to why she caught feelings. You know, he took even some accountability in that fact that, look, our relationship was missing some things. This is important when it comes to cheating and people being, you know, committing adultery in a relationship, that when we do these things, there's a necessity for both people to look at solutions for the relationship, that both of us have contributed towards the situation. Even though one of us stepped out, not both of us, maybe there's something that I contributed towards a scenario that also helped you make it easy to make that decision, right? So yeah, it was interesting to kind of see that as well. You know, and when you, like I said, when you look at her energy,
Boxed in, have at it.
So Daniel, would you want to try that? Would you want to?
so that's when Daniel gets involved. Well, I want to kind of slightly go, if I could, probably find a clip a little bit, but yeah, I think in the scenario as well, I think Shamari does feel bad about the whole situation with her doing that. And, you know, I think when they talk about their intimacy issues, I think the biggest thing they're looking for is to kind of rekindle that fire again, because like I said, they had a 7-year itch. They have had kids as well. That's brought them back together again, but that's not necessarily the glue that keeps a relationship together. It is a love that we have built. And, you know, when they go to later on, talk about this is when they talk about at the video shoot part. Let me just go to that part. This is really interesting.
In between us, right? So some of the intimacy, you know, in our relationship is gone. So
did you see the way that he was also making sure he was looking at her whilst talking? This is somebody who's emotionally intelligent. I actually love Ronnie, man. Just listening to him. This is the first episode. He might mash up on the next episode, but I love listening to someone like Ronnie because I can tell that he's emotionally intelligent. It is the little things that people do that tell me this. The simple looking over at the partner just to make sure, like, you cool with what I'm saying right now. I'm talking about the fact that we've got intimacy issues. He's almost looking for a different reaction to say, maybe I should pause or maybe I should continue talking. That's somebody who's aware and being aware of his surroundings and his partner. Right now, you notice her face drops immediately when they talk about intimacy.
It's like, we're here to get that back.
Intimacy,
yeah.
Also, if you notice, he did a majority of the talking, not only at the table, but also here as well. Now, the question here I love the fact he's talking. Question here is, does she feel like she has a voice enough to talk about these issues? Has she truly voiced how she truly feels in these issues, or has there been a cover-up by Ronnie, almost in a sense, maybe to stop the pain of hearing her talk about a situation in her honest truth that he covers up by talking? I'm not saying that's the necessary truth. I'm saying it's a theory potentially that could be considered. I have to consider all angles because we don't have enough information at this current point in time. So, you know, just going back a little bit again, you know, and hearing it.
Divorce based on opening our relationship up to what Mike and Rod is going through now, right? And our kids was the ultimate blessing on the other side.
So again, he's the one that's actually introducing this and saying that our kids were the blessing that we, you know, kept us together, etc. But you notice she hasn't done much talking. Now, this could be because of guilt of the situation of the past. This could be that's a natural disposition. She doesn't talk a lot. It could also be the fact that, you know what, he talks a lot and she doesn't know how to get a word in. And maybe when he talks with fantasy. No, maybe I should say fantasy. But when he talks with a everything will be okay kind of look. You know what I mean? Maybe that's also a consideration I have to think about as well. We don't know the full truth. We don't know the whole entire spectrum of their relationship. You know, but he is obviously someone that is filled with a lot of words. He's able to articulate himself very, very well. And even when you look at the very beginning, when they introduce himself, and again, they had very good positive body language. When you look at their introduction.
What's going on? It's your man, Big Ron, a.k.a. What About Ronnie? And this is my amazingly beautiful, gifted and talented.
Look at the way they are looking at each other. I appreciate the way they're looking at each other. There's obviously some love there. And they're very, very close. If you see their shoulders, they're touching, they're next to each other. They're not having no problems in that regard, right? But if you notice again who does the talking, it's him. So in this entire episode, we've heard him speak 3 times on occasions and not heard her speak. That's a big thing.
Trusted and accomplished wife. Shamari's your quad devo. from the multi-selling platinum group, Black.
Now, the way he introduced her was amazing. He celebrates her, he appreciates her, and he loves her, right? If people want to talk about devotion to your wife, this sounds like it. Now, I got to watch all the way through the season to see if this is devotion or if this worship. I got to make sure. I got to see it. I got to see it. I got to see it. But for me, for right now, it doesn't fully give off worship. It gives off more, I'm devoted and I love my wife and I love my family kind of thing. And I can appreciate that. But yes, he spoke, even in that moment, he spoke most. And you heard her lapping up the praise. Does she want to be able to return some of this affection that she's getting, or does she not know how to give back some of this affection? Like, we have to ask some real questions in the next coming weeks as well in terms of their relationship. So I look forward to seeing more of them in episode 2. I know I'm behind by an episode, so we'll get into it. But listen, guys, we're gonna leave it there. Like it, share, subscribe. Actually, there was one more thing I just want to say. One more thing. No, that was it. Yeah, that was it. Listen, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads. We appreciate you.
Little black, you know what